All right, sit back, man. Sit back, sit back, sit back. All right. This one here is about the Texas and New Orleans call. All right. The Texas and New Orleans call. To show you how men do. All right. This is about the Texas and New Orleans call to show you how the men do. Just so you fully understand, where I'm coming from. All right. You know what it is, Unique Mecca audio, man. This one is about Texas and New Orleans, all right? Texas and New Orleans. Sit back. Let me sit back also. Sit back and enjoy the ride, man. This about two brothers, good brothers, Both of them got life. They start off doing their bid. They in two different jails. They wind up, punishing somebody because both of them got hood anger management issues. So they winds up punishing somebody and they winds up in the smooth program. The smooth program is like a baby Marion or baby ADX. But it got to step down and it's only 18 months. It's 3 different phases. I'm going to bring somebody on to break down how the phases work in the smooth program. Because you do give you an example, like 6 months in the first phase where you locked in 23 hours a day. You only come out 1 day a wreck for 6 months. Then the other 6 months you come out and you get your tray to eat and you eat amongst everybody on your tier. And then you and your tier go to wreck together. But in the first 6-month program, just you go by yourself for 6 months. So after 6 months, they put you where you start mingling or co-mingling with other inmates and convicts. Now, once they put them in these programs, then the last program after you do a year, then you finish the last 6 months program where you out with everybody in your unit, and there's 4 units, just like this behind me. One side, like the left side would be the left side, left one. Only those people on that side, when you get to phase 2, will eat together and wreck together. Then after you get to phase 3, where you did 12 months and only got the last 6 months left, then they let both sides go, together. So that's how that works. So now y'all getting good game. Pay attention. Now, so that's how that is. Now, you see the cells behind me, You see the cells right here behind me. Dudes be in the cell and they got to yell down to the next person. We make what we call a wheeler. That's what the Spanish people call it, but we just call it a line. That's what the Americans call it, call it a line. So you take that and you take a piece of dental floss and a paper clip and empty toothpaste case, or and then you might take a bar of soap, put it in, wet it, put it in it so you could flatten it down so it could get under the door, and then you slide that down. Somebody else would slide their line out with a paper clip on the end, and that'll hook the dental floss, and that pulls the dental floss in the string, and then you say, I got it, and then they wrap their magazine that they're trying to send down to you, the K2, the Suboxone, the dope, the heroin, or whatever they're trying to send down. That's how we pass things when we locked in these cells by ourselves. That's why I say the game is to be told, sold, not told. Let's get that right, Now, because y'all wouldn't get this nowhere else. I'm giving it to you raw. Y'all wouldn't get this nowhere else. So you got the line going and you sliding things back and forth. So people would yell through the bars and talk to each other. A dude might talk to a dude 5 cells down and 7 cells down. So he yelling down the 10, and then somebody else want to talk to somebody, let's say right next door to them, but they talking, they getting hyped, they talking loud, and the person yelling from 7 cells away, they can't hear in between, the person that's right next door talking. So then therefore, they start yelling, yo, man, hold it down, man. I got the mic. I got the mic, meaning, I'm on the phone. You know what I mean? The phone means, you know, you talking communication and you saying fall back, you know, so I could have my conversation. And dude might yell out, man, I'm right next door. I know I ain't talking that loud. And another dude be like, man, I can't hear what my man's saying. How you can't hear? What, you deaf? You know, these are the type of things going. And dude said, nah, I ain't deaf. Who you talking to like that? Man, you already know who I'm talking to. I'm gonna put a stamp on it. I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? So they get to arguing over little things like that, right? So dude said, man, I'm trying to see you. But being that they in the first phase and they go to wreck by themselves, they can't get to each other and they trying to fight. Pay attention. So if you youngins want this, y'all do what y'all got to do. See the Cash App on the screen? I don't care if it's $1, $5. Make sure when you send it, it's not to the one with my picture on it. And it says it was created in July 2020. That's my cash account. Was created in July 2020, not April 2023. You know what I mean? That's the duplicate. Don't let them get you. But then now, like I said, the game is to be sold, not told, you know. So dudes get to argue and they trying to fight. They can't get the rec together because they doing rec separate. So only way they could get to physically put their hands on each other is move in the cell with each other. So could you youngins imagine this? You talking crap to a dude and he's telling you, yo, come down here, tell the CO you trying to move in my cell. My cellie gonna move in your cell, you know, because everybody got a cellie. So dude said, my cellie gonna swap with you because I'm trying to F you up. This how it is. You know what I mean? My brothers that was in the smooth know. So dude said, man, I'm trying to F you up. And he's like, nah, who you talking to like that? Man, well, come down here then. You know, and dude is like, all right, I'm coming. You know, so he tell the police, yo, I'm trying to move down there to dude's cell. So the police move him down in the cell. They get down there in the cell. The police walk away. They get there, you know, like two pit bulls in a cell. You know, they get to, you know, staring at each other in the cell, letting them know, yo, I'm telling you, after they do this walk through this counter or whatever, I'm telling you it's on. And this is how it is. You know what I mean? You invited a man to come in your cell to fight you and knowing that you may die, you know, or you may have to kill him and definitely never get out because they both got life anyway. That's how it is in the joint, just so you understand. So they get in there and they wait till after 4 o'clock count. Because 4 o'clock is when the shift changed. So the police that was working early in the day, he'll make his walkthrough and, you know, count the bodies. He put his count in, and then he go up there, take his keys off, his belt off, and everything he had from that shift, turn it into center control. Another officer coming in off the street that's going to work, you know what I mean, from like 4 to 12, you know, little 8-hour shifts. So he come in, and then he takes his belt, and he goes back and da-da-da. So all that takes time. And then at that time, doing 4 o'clock count. By the time they're doing all that, it's 5 o'clock. In between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, they bring the food tray. So when they bring the food tray up in there, that's going to take a little time. So about 5:15, 5:30. See, I remember the count. 5:50. Yeah, call me institutionalized. Call me what you want, but I'm trying to teach my youngins right now. So you rat bastards and trolls and flip-flop wearing in public dudes, find another channel for the bull crap. Now, so 5:15, you know, so they got a good, you know, hour and 15 minutes to get it on, you know, the first round. You know what I mean? Because they're going to have some rounds in this joint. This is how it is when you locked up in the shoe, you know? So the first round, they go at it and they boom, 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 boom. You know, I'm going to keep it 100, always do. You know what I mean? Texas got out on New Orleans. You know what I mean? Texas got out on New Orleans, you know? But then now, you know, they fall back and after the fight, now they could talk because they both see what they working with. So now they start talking and communicating a little bit, you know. But New Orleans still felt like, you know, nah, you know, you got a lucky one, you know. I want round 2, you know. So after they do 10 o'clock count tonight, we gonna wreck. Now they lock in, you know, the shift changed from 10 o'clock to 6 in the morning, 8-hour shifts. So he telling them after 10 o'clock count, we gonna finish this. You know what I mean? And he like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? You know, that's what Texas told him. Dude was from Houston, Texas, to be exact. You know, Houston told him, nah, dog, 10 o'clock, it's back on if that's what you want. I whooped you before, I'm going to whoop you again, da-da-da. You know what I mean? So, you know, they eat food together. And listen how crazy it is. They'll play chess together. They'll play casino with cards together, blackjack with each other. You know what I mean? They'll read, tell each other what they reading about in the books. All this waiting for 10 o'clock so they can fight. But like I said, this is how men do. It's no, I'm going to hit you up, and there's no jump on each other right there because ain't nobody trying to just get out the cell. Because if they fighting for the police, they going to take them out the cell. They ain't going to be able to finish it. So we going to stay in here until we, you know, come up with who's the winner. This is how it is. Cash App on the screen. I don't care if it's $1 or $5. Make sure it says created in July 2020. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, the game is to be sold, not told. The number's on the screen. If you want to talk to me, if you got any questions you want to talk to me, my time is valuable. When you call me, make sure you're at least ready to send me at least a Cash App of $5. I'm starting a new trend for the YouTubers. I'm going to show y'all how to hustle and how to get money on here. You know what I mean? Because my time is valuable. I'll be having people calling me, you know, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? 6, 7 in the morning. I don't have a problem with it. But just make sure you have your Cash App out. You know what I mean? Round of applause to the Cash App. Round of applause to the Cash App. You know what I mean? Round of applause to the Cash App. Calm down, y'all. Calm down, because we definitely got to give the trolls, the rat bastards, you know, the flip-flop wearing in public dudes, you understand? A gunshot, you know what I mean? For talking about a brother every night. Come on, a brother got to eat. You know, you want to talk to me at 1 in the morning and you don't think I should be compensated. You know, let's ride. End the story. Y'all know where I'm at. So now, they up in the joint, they waiting on 10 o'clock count. See, I get right back to the story. They waiting on 10 o'clock count. Here comes 10 o'clock count. 10 o'clock count, they get at it again. And they fighting. I mean, all kind of uppercuts, jabs, but they ain't no knives. They just fight with the hands. It's like a cage match. It's like what y'all call the ultimate fighting, you know? So you move in a cell to go ultimately fight with a dude over him talking while you're talking. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, now you're ready to fight. Welcome to the penitentiary and welcome to my world, you know, for 26 years. That's why I'm trying to prevent you from going there. That's why I said the game would be sold, not told. You already know. So now, check. So they get the rumbling at 10 o'clock. They fought, yo, these brothers, I'm not even exaggerating. You know, because, you know, all of us all on the bars, everybody on the bars listening, you know what I mean? And we, you know, but we got to be quiet. We can't root them on because we don't want the police to come down. We want them to get their little hour in or 30 minutes, whatever it is, until the police decide to make his rounds. So we can't yell. But everybody got their mirror. Man, I should have brought a mirror. But it's like this, look, you know, everybody got their mirror. Let's say this is a mirror. You know what I mean? And you see the cells behind me, you can put your hands out. So if your neighbor is right next to you or you're trying to see up the tier, you'll put the mirror out, you understand, just like this, and you look in the mirror and you can see everything behind you from your cell. That's how we see the tier, and believe me, that makes your mind so free to be able to see something other than those 4 walls. See, I'm giving y'all the real emotional and mental trauma part of this, because they put us to be locked in a cell, but these jails wasn't built for us to be locked in 23 hours a day. They was built with bars just like this, you know, because these are older jails, Lewisburg, Lum Park, Leavenworth, you know, that's how they build them, Terry Hut, with the bars. The newer jails, they build with solid doors. That way you only could deal with these 4 walls. You can't escape by sticking your mirror out the window to see out the tier. Look, you be like this, and see the way where that napkin is at? I can see everything behind me if that's a mirror. So we sitting there and we looking down. So everybody looking down, trying to see a body part come flying out the cell. You know what I mean? Everybody looking down through their mirror trying to see a body part. But I'm gonna tell you what, the people right across from them, or the people right next to them that got a mirror, because when you're right next to a cell, you can actually take that mirror and put it next to your celly cell and see in your celly cell. Because I'm going to give you a funny one, because I like to ride, you know? I like to ride. You already know I like to ride. I'm going to give you a funny one. I'm in Lum Park. So we locked in Lum Park, and I'm going to tell a whole story about the, you know, how we was getting the tobacco in Lum Park. All this already been busted, so you rat bastards, you know what I mean? And trolls, you know what I mean? Don't say, oh, he giving up that game. Go find another channel. All right? Mecca Audio. That's how we do it, the Mecca. So now, I'm in the cell. I got the plumber bringing me tobacco in. I'm gonna tell you how I get it in. The plumber is sneaking me tobacco in. So I got all the tobacco and I'm selling, tobacco. When I do it, I'm gonna try and have the props if I remember. Cause I think of these joints and I just do them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, that's why people run out of content, they talk about each other. I don't run out of content because my life was that action-packed. You know what I mean? So I don't run out of content. So y'all good. Go check out the previous videos. Like check out the Matula Shakur, tribute, and rest in peace joint. My condolences to the brother. Rest in peace to Dr. Shakur. Make sure. Calm down, man. Calm down. Damn. As Chris Tucker would say. Now, that joint there, that Matula Shakur joint is deep because I got real emotional and I'm glad I was wearing my sunglasses and y'all should know why. But make sure you check that out so you can see how Dr. Shakur touched me to help mold and change my life into me being able to give you this proper content. Don't I look good? Matter of fact, let me thank a few people, man. I want to thank, Reginald Custard, Elijah Abu, Rashid, Freddie Jones, Rashid James, Courtney Melvin, who else we got down here? Marcellus Lacey, Father Son, and KD the Barber, for the Cash App, because they recognize it's on the screen. The game is to be sold, not told. You're not getting this nowhere else. That's why they hate me. That's why they try and pick on that. I'm mentioning that I'm on the Cash App. You know what I mean? Come on, game is to be sold, not told, man. I had to pay for this, man. I paid blood, sweat, and tears to get this game that I'm giving you. And all I'm asking for is at least $5. You know what I mean? Blood, sweat, and tears. Would you rather give your blood, sweat, and tears to learn this game or sit back, and donate $5 commissary to a brother? All right, let's ride. So now they get up in there, they fighting, but no lie. See, I go right back to where I'm at. They was fighting from about 10:30, 10:15, 10:30, you know what I mean? Till they did 12 o'clock count. They did 12 o'clock count. They do a 10 o'clock count when they change shifts, right before that, and then they change shifts at 12. So they do another count then before they change shift, then another count at 3, then another count at 5, and then, they open up at 6 o'clock. When I say open up, that means now they feed you, get everything ready, and then they ready to send you out, to the wreck, to be in the cage by yourself. So that's how this works. See, I'm giving y'all this word for word the way it is. So this joint here, share this video. You know what I mean? And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, man, don't just watch the content. If you're not going to send a Cash App, give me an emoji. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Or at least at the mandatory, subscribe and hit that like button. Now, so that's where we at. So they fought till 12 o'clock. The shift changed at 12 o'clock. They stop. Police come down. They break out the chessboard. And they sit down. They act like they playing chess. They were just in there trying to kill each other, And they stopped 15 minutes before count to get ready, so the police don't know what's going on, so they can get another round. Welcome to the penitentiary. You know what I mean? Y'all was as smooth in the shoe and all that. Know how this thing go. So, they stop, they count, you know what I mean? They get back to fighting. Now they fight till 3 in the morning. You know what I mean? 3 in the morning, they both tired. You understand? So they both shake hands and say, man, I'm going to sleep. Can I trust you to go to sleep? They both asking each other that without saying that. You understand? So they both laying down. They've been fighting all night. They don't want to close their eyes. Because if he asks him, can I trust you? He's going to say yeah to rock him to sleep. So after they fight, they both don't say nothing. They just lay down and they chilling. And while they trying to sleep, they hold a little general conversation. This is how we do, because we all been through this. They hold a little general conversation, not really no detailed answers, but just to communicate, to let it be known that, there's no animosity. And dude trying to sleep, but he got one eye open, because he can't trust his celly. Because they were just rocking and rolling for like 3-4 rounds, earlier that night. And this is how this goes. So if this is how you youngins want to live your life, feel free to live your life. And you know what? I could end it here and be a dog and a scumbag and tell you I'm going to give you part 2, but I'm not. I'm going to give you it right here, right now. So now, After they fought, 6 o'clock time coming, then they call rec time. So rec time, you know, they both put in to go to rec, so they both go out in the rec cage to go to rec, but they can't fight out there in the cage where the rec is at because the police is out there. So they go out there to get their workout on. So if they go in there, they want to fight again or whatever they want to do, they got their blood pumping, you know what it is. This is prison, man, just so you understand. Like I said, this joint definitely deserves a cash check. I can't believe I'm giving y'all this much game, man. But I got to give it to you to make sure that you don't feel like you need to go experience it and then come ask for a $5 cash check. You know what I mean? So now, check it out. So they out there, they working out together, and they both trying to outdo each other because they in the rec cage. So each one trying to show they could do the most sets of push-up or the most push-ups in a set. You understand what I'm saying? The most pull-ups in a set. To let them know, like, I'm ready. I'm on gladiator time. So if you want to take it back in the cell and we finish this, we finished it. But one thing for sure, if you notice what I just told you out this whole 20 minutes, ain't nobody say nothing to no police about them fighting. They didn't mention it, and the people that's on the tier didn't mention it, because that's how men do. Ain't no telling. You understand what I'm saying? Period. Ain't no telling. Just wrecking and bidding. This how you bid. You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm going to keep it 100. This how we have fun while we in the shoe. Because it's better than laying in the cell stressing, thinking about your kids, your wife, everything you missing, da-da-da-da. Instead, let me move in the cell with a dude and knuckle it up. You know, this is where our mentality is at, so you understand. Let me move in a cell with this dude and knuckle it up. You know what I mean? And pass my time that way. You want to pass your time? You want to pass it that way? You know, because we all got different ways of passing our time. So now, they're both up in the rec cage, so then they go back in, they do their time, you know what I mean? So now, they complete the program, you know, and during that 6 months, they stayed in the cell together after all these fights. They didn't leave, you know what I mean? And it's like, whenever you want to fight again, we fight again, you know what I mean? But, you know, they learn to coexist. Yo, I'm going to tell you it like this. All my best friends growing up, I had a fight with. All my best friends growing up, I had a fight with them before they became my best friend. You know, because it's like a gladiator thing. It's like, you know, you got to show me that, you know, you cut like me, you know. And yeah, I got whooped a couple of times. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it 100, you know what I mean? And, you know, I whooped a couple, but, you know, that's a part of it. You know, for you fake black bastards, you know, in trues and flip-flop wearing in public dudes. You know what I mean? We don't do that. Mecca audio! At the Mecca. You know what I mean? So now, they both finish the program, and then they both get sent out to Atwater. Welcome to Atwater, California. One from Houston, Texas, the other one from New Orleans. Now they in, you know, Atwater, California. So when they get out there to Atwater, they classify them and they put them in 2 different units. You know, so now they separate from each other. But they just been fighting 6 months ago for the last 6 months and doing what they do. But they wound up getting along for that last couple of months, and they was really close. They had a bond. You know what I mean? They had a real good bond after all of that fighting, you know? But it ain't over there yet. This is prison. Like I said, I'm giving y'all the real. Make sure you subscribe to my, follow me on my Instagram, Unique Mecca Audio. Follow me on my Instagram. So now, we sitting there, and they send the 2 of them out to Atwater. They both get to Atwater, they're in separate units, you know? Now, it's another dude there from New Orleans that get along with both of them because both of the cars really run together. You know what I mean? That's the dirty South, you know? But if you got a problem with a man, then it's a problem with a man. It's not a problem with the whole dirty South. So we don't need to get everybody involved. And it was only 2 of them there, you know, up in, you know, Lewisburg in the smooth program. So they had to handle their differences themselves instead of other people getting involved. But now they're here amongst everybody else. But they're getting along good. So one of the New Orleans dudes from the Dirty South car that they both in decided to go to the challenge program over there in 6 unit. I think it was in 6A. You know, 6B or some shit. It was in 6 something. So they over there in that program. So while they over there in that program, yeah, my killer dog, Ginger barking. Chill out, Ginger. You know, Ginger ain't nothing but my daughter's little, what they call Yorkie Terrier, you know? But, you know, love her to death. But then now, they put both of the, I'm riding, man. So they put, you know, my man goes in the smooth program, and then they see how much more comfortable his bid is, because they give you Stairmaster and workout equipment and Monopoly and checkers and chess and Uno cards and playing cards and backgammon and all this stuff to play with. So you get all this stuff to play with. And while you're playing with all this stuff, it make your time go by. Instead of sitting in a cell, just you and another man, or sitting in a unit, because at this time they in a unit where you got 100 dudes on the tier, might be 130 cells, 2-man a cell, call it 160. So they sitting there, they chilling. So while they chilling, they see him having fun, so they decide to move over there. So when they decide to move over there, oh yeah, and for you rat bastards, yeah, you can hear my dog barking, so check out. You know what I mean? Check out. You know what I mean? Go somewhere else if you got a problem with Ginger speaking in her own house. But then now, so they see how much fun he having, so they decide to move over there, So when they move over there, they decide to move over there Sellies. So they move over there Sellies. But now it's so laid back, it's a whole different environment. So, being that dude from Houston, Texas he's getting a little reckless out the mouth, Only person you're going to have is a problem you're going to have in prison, in the federal prison, 9 times out of 10, it's one of your homies. It's not nobody outside the car, because nobody crossed that line, so there ain't no car against car. It's one of your homies. What they call familiarity breeds disrespect. Giving you game. Familiarity, Cash App on the screen, breeds disrespect. Make sure it says July 2020. Click all the way in to see when the account was created. All right. So now Houston talking crazy to him, and he don't really like it. So he go tell his homeboys, you know what I mean, from New Orleans, yo, give me a knife, man. I'm gonna punish this dude. And he's like, well, yo, that's your man. That was just silly and smooth, y'all. This and that. And of course they try and talk it down, like, yo, come on, dog. You know what I mean? Dude said, nah, man, my mom made up. I'm going to do what I got to do. Now, this is your man from New Orleans. This is somebody else that's in the car from Texas. But remember, it's, Houston, Texas. But it's a Dirty South car. But your alliance is to the Dirty South car. But your real alliance is to your homie. For certain dudes, that's just like, I'm just in the car because it's the car, and that's how we got to move, and that's how I'm going to move. But this is my homie from New Orleans, nigga. If New Orleans got a problem with somebody, I got a problem with him. And if from Houston, then that's what it is. Me and Houston got a problem. You see, I'm giving y'all this good game and content. So now, that's the way that play out, right? So dude turns around and he gives him the knife. He goes back to the cell. New Orleans dude already know that they homie that came to get the knife, he ain't nothing to play with. If he say he gonna put the knife in him, he gonna put the knife in him. So he already said he gonna put the knife in him at after 10 o'clock count when the police change shifts. You know what I mean? I told you get a nice little hour in there at least. Hour to hour and 15 minutes when they change shift, like, 4, 8, and 6 in the morning. Breaking that 8-hour shifts down in the 3 quarters. You see, I know all this still. Yeah, I'm institutionalized. Call it what you want, you rat bastards. You know what I mean? And fake trolls. And we definitely can't forget the flip-flop wearing in public dudes. Now, so they get locked in, and the whole unit don't know about it. Only people know about it is just the New Orleans dudes that went to him to get the knife. Because that could play out another way, too, from his homie giving him a knife to punish somebody else in the car. Y'all put in the comments if y'all want me to break that down as well. I'll break that down as well. I'm going to do something on YNW Melly, later today, probably air it tomorrow before the weekend. So look out for the YNW Melly, breakdown I'm getting ready to do. See how I ride and plug everything? All right. So now, 10 o'clock count come. So everybody's quiet, listening. You know what I mean? See what happened. But they know dude from New Orleans, if he said he gonna do it, he gonna do it. 10 o'clock come, they make their count, 10:15, they done. Everybody's waiting for the nothing happens. 11:15 comes, an hour later, still everybody waiting for the nothing happens. 12:15, because 12 o'clock they count. So they say, okay, they're gonna do it after 12 o'clock count. You know what I mean? Say, all right, you know what I mean? Nothing happens. So then 3 o'clock count come. You know what I mean? So after 3 o'clock count, everybody sleep because they figured that, dudes that don't know New Orleans saying he faking because he said he gonna do all that and he ain't do all that. So they thought he was gonna at least fight in the cell. They didn't know he had a knife in the cell. So they thought he was faking, you know what I mean? Because they saw them arguing over, I think it was a spade game or something simple they was arguing over. That turned to all of this. So dude just got tired of the way he was talking to him because the dude won the fight. Like I said, you know, Texas won the fight, you know what I mean, in smooth. You know, Houston, Texas won the fight. So Houston, Texas felt like he could talk to New Orleans any kind of way. Once he got comfortable in the compound, his real disrespectful self came out. And New Orleans wasn't going for it because he was respecting him in the cell. That's why he moved him in the cell here. But from that little separation, he went back to feeling whatever animosity or tough guy stuff that he felt that he was feeling, you know? So 3 o'clock count, police count. 3:15, that's when you hear, New Orleans putting that knife in him. You know what I mean? New Orleans went this, back up. You know what I mean? Now from him screaming, because now this the knife play. This ain't the smooth where they fighting with the knuckles. This the knife when he feel that cold, rusty steel run up in his spine and pierce his skin and his blood starts spilling out as he pulled that joint out. You understand what I'm saying? He squealed like a pig. But he wasn't no rat. Let's get that right. You know? Meaning he squealed, you know? He said everything but it hurt, because, you know, man ain't gonna say it hurt. But, you know, Houston kept it 100, you know? But it was hurting, so he hollered. Police come running down there, the riot squad come, the goon squad, they you know, they got the helmets on, they got the big chest protector wrapped all up between their crotch, they got the knee pads on and the steel toe joints or whatever, so you can't stab them in their feet. They got all this, and they come running down there with the shield and the baton, and they run up in there and they shoot tear gas in this cell at about 3:30 in the morning. These two brothers in a 4x8 cell, and they shooting tear gas in there after they've been fighting and the adrenaline is pumping. So you already know how their lungs felt, you know? If y'all don't understand that, that's because, youngins, please, you know, don't break the law, because I don't want you to have to go through this. Let me finish how this thing goes. I'm about to cap this up. But youngins, stop it, you know? So, dude squealing, 9 times he hit him, punished him. By the time the police, because, you know, now the alarms is going off and they turn on the lights in the unit and everybody's supposed to be asleep. And they got all the lights on like it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And here come dude from New Orleans come out, blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. You know what I mean? Everybody thought he lost. There was so much blood. But they brought him out because he won first, you know? The Houston, Texas dude was laying down on the cell floor, fighting, trying to breathe for his life, because he disrespected this dude. You see how serious this get in prison? Then they locked him up, and they put them in separate cells again, and they winds up sending New Orleans, who did the stabbing, back to the smooth to do another 18 months in the program, go through it with another cellie, but they kept the Houston, Texas dude being that he was the victim. You know what I mean? And he's like, man, I don't know what the heck happened. But that's how easy it is to get confused in prison. Make sure you subscribe to my Roku channel, my iPod thing, you know what I mean? What they call that? Yeah, the podcast over at Spotify and the iPodcast thing and all that, and make sure, you know what I mean, you cop the book of Rowan Harlem. You know what I mean? Make sure you cop the book of Rowan Harlem at rowanharlem.com. All right? At rowanharlem.com. So that's where we at, man. So I'm getting ready to tap out, let y'all know what it is. Look out for that YNW Melly, you know, criminal law breakdown of where they at with his trial. You know what I mean? All right.
Cheers. Toast the crime. Toast the crime. The crime. The crime. The crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of
26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rudiments.